What's up, guys? Back with another educational video, and this week we are talking about social media and weight loss. I was sent a really interesting study by our filmmaker here, Brian, talking about social media contacts and people who attempt to lose weight. So they looked at people who want to lose weight and who they interact with. What they found was that of people who wanted to lose weight, they tended to increase their interaction with heavier individuals and decrease their interaction with thinner individuals. But the people who actually had success with weight loss tended to do the opposite. They actually tended to increase their interaction with thinner individuals. That's kind of the study in a nutshell. Now, I think that that's interesting, but let's talk about what I think this means. Because you could take the very vain perspective that means if I'm overweight and I don't want to be overweight anymore, I can never talk to my overweight friends. I have to go get all new friends. I don't think that's what it's saying. I think what it's saying, though, is it's talking about the habits and behaviors that make people successful in terms of weight loss. A few months ago, we talked about a recent systematic review of people who were successful at losing weight and keeping it off by a researcher named Marie Spreckley. And one of the things she identified in this systematic review was of people who lost weight and kept it off. One of the most common things they identified was having to form a new identity. And it's kind of like if you want to change your life, if you wanted to change your appearance, you're not going to be able to do that, but also drag your old habits along for the ride. Let me give a more extreme example. If somebody's an alcoholic, they want to stop drinking, it's likely their entire life has been set up in those habits and behaviors. When they get off work, maybe they go to a bar or they go home and they start drinking. They have a certain ritual that they go through. Many of their friends probably also drink because that might be how they met because they're in bars so much. Maybe if they want to change that, now they may not be able to hang out with those people as much only for their own mental health, because if they're hanging out with them, they're going to be around that situation that is not conducive to their new goals. I think this study is kind of hinting at that. If you are somebody who's heavier or obese and you want to lose weight, it's going to be hard to do that unless you are going to change your habits and behaviors. It doesn't mean you can't be friends or can't have contact with people who are heavier or overweight, but that has to be done around social situations that are more conducive to your new goals. So for example, if it was something where you're used to going out and having maybe really calorically dense foods with people who are heavier, maybe now you've got to find some other way that you can hang out with these people and do something that's a little bit more conducive, whether it would be go out for a walk, go out hiking. It doesn't even have to be an activity. It can be anything that doesn't necessarily involve, high calorie, hyperpalatable foods. Or if that's the only way you can do it, you can always do that and choose foods that are lower in calorie density. However, one of the problems that I have heard from people who are overweight and who have tried to lose weight is a lot of times they might get shamed by their friends for the choices they're making with their food. So if they go out with their friends and let's say they're going to an Italian place and everybody wants to get pizza and lasagna, and you order a salad and you say you want grilled chicken and do they have a low-fat dressing? A lot of times people project their insecurities on you, and so they might actually shame you for, ordering that lower calorie food. And so now the question becomes, okay, how much of this am I willing to tolerate before I'm not going to be around this friend circle anymore? All that to say, I think this kind of plays into things. I think that people probably don't start out with the intention to get rid of friends who are overweight and start hanging out with people who are thinner. I don't think that's the intention. I think that in the course of the habits and behaviors that's required to lose weight and keep it off, by default, they're probably going to lose some of their friend circle that they had and acquire new friends. So for example, if I stop eating out as much, if I'm overweight or obese, and I stop eating out as much and I start going to the gym and I start getting consistent with exercise, well, I'm going to meet people at the gym who are interested in the same thing that I am interested in currently. It's likely that I'll develop social contact with them and become friends with more of them. I didn't do that necessarily because, hey, they're thin, maybe I can absorb some of their thinness. I'm doing that because it's more conducive to my current lifestyle than what I had before. And by the same token, if I'm trying to hang out with my old friend circle, but I'm finding it really difficult because it's either with something that's not conducive to my new goals, or maybe they're, giving me a lot of stress about, hey, why are you doing this? Are we not good enough for you anymore? Or shaming me in some way? It's going to be really tough to want to continue that. I want to be very clear. If you're overweight or obese, I'm not saying that you need to go start hanging out with thin people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you may face challenges in keeping your old friend circle based on your new habits and behaviors that you'll have to develop in order to lose weight and keep it off. And you may find yourself gravitating towards other people only from the perspective of, hey, these people might be interested in what I'm now interested in and have more similar goals. And that's kind of how friendship circles develop. People don't tend to really hang out with people they don't have any shared interest with. So I think that's kind of what this study's pointing to, but we definitely need a lot more research on this because it's a very interesting area. What I will say when it comes to social media, because that's what the study was about specifically, I think it's probably important to curate the kind of content that's conducive for your goals. So whatever kind of content is motivating to you, makes you feel good about what you're striving for, I think that's the kind of content you want to consume. I've seen so many people who follow people that they don't even like the content, but it's almost like they're in the sick cycle of they just want to be angry at this person or talk negatively. Some of y'all know who you are because you post in my comments section. I really recommend against that. Not only is your feed curated for you, it's also going to show you accounts that are similar to the ones you're following. So if you're following accounts that you don't really enjoy, that aren't really contributing to your well-being, then it's also going to show you more accounts like that. And it's going to create kind of a vicious circle. So habits and behaviors, most important, and make sure you are engaging in social media, using it as a positive tool rather than a negative tool. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you next week.